Madam, please share the screen.
Okay. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, madam, please continue.
Okay. Okay. So today we will be covering block 4 of CNCC, which will be including unit 3 units 11, 12, and 13. So here we'll be starting with how we have to spend our food money. What is food expenditure and how we can plan a food budget? What is food budget and what are the steps there are to prepare a food budget for a family? Now, as you all are aware, money can be spent on buying food items, which is called as a food expenditure. The money which we are spending in buying our food, for purchasing the food material, ingredient, anything that include or that comes under food expenditure. Not necessarily our expenditure on food is from you only, but it can be from your family farm. Maybe you're a farmer and you're growing your own crops, so you need not to purchase them. You just have to purchase the seeds and the other raw material which are required to grow the uh, crops. So, and other thing, it can be you are getting the food ingredients like wheat, major food ingredient like wheat, sugar, rice, oils from some policies, because every government have certain policies that they provide these necessity ingredients at a subsidized rate. So these include wheat, rice, as I quoted right now, sugar, that helps you to pay less money. So it's not that you always have to buy things, but other things also help you to get your food from either from your own farm or from the government policies. Now moving forward, there are many factors that influence the food expenditure. First factor is income. Like, if there are three income groups, you all must be aware of these. There is a low income group, there is a middle income group, and high income group. So what is low income group? When your income is very low and you can only include food material which are cheap in price, and like the staple food like wheat or rice on which your family is totally dependent, not the luxury products you can afford. So that comes under the low income group. Commodities like wheat, jowar, they are also referred to as a wage goods, because you are totally dependent on these staple foods only, and there are no protein rich products, no seasonal fruits and vegetable, because they are high in cost, so families couldn't afford such expensive product. Then here comes the middle income group. They can afford buying products which are better in quality, which are packaged food. They look good, their appearance is good, and they, apart from the staple ingredients like rice, wheat, sugar, jaggery, they can also include food from the protein groups also, like meat, fish, maybe weekly, on a weekly basis or twice a week. May not be daily, but yes, they can include these things in their uh, daily diet. So people are left with more money for their expenditure on other items also. Apart from the buying food or purchasing food, they can also buy stuffs for other necessity things like house, transportation, wearing good clothes. So that is middle income group people. Now we are moving forward to the high income group. Their expenditure on food item forms a very small fraction of their total spending, because they consume best quality of food which is available in the market, but still they are left with so much of money that they can buy other commodities, other things also. So they include products which are high in protein, which are high in vitamins, minerals. They also can afford the supplementations. So they have a lot of money and they include good quality of food in their diets. So which is these things are really simple. You need not to go in detail, but yes, you should know that your food, what food expenditure is, and on which factors food expenditure depends. So it depends on the income. A person's income is important because ultimately money is the only thing by which you can buy food for your family. Then expenditure incurred on food depends on income, as I told you, taste and preferences for different type of food, the extent of substitution available for the food you consume, and the price of food items you consume. Maybe there are ingredients which are, available in cheap price, but the same ingredients are available in higher price at a bigger mall or bigger market of maybe of other brand. So it depends on your choice, on your preferences, that of which brand or of which company that product you want to consume and you want to buy for your family. So these are the 4 points on which your food expenditure depends. You can read over here and you can note down it in your books. Then, moving forward, we are coming to the food budget. What is food budgeting? A budget is simply a statement of income and expenditure. What is a budget? When there is a source of income, whether it's your big, the prime family member who's earning in your family, so that is a source of.
Talk. See,
Sorry. A budget is simply a statement of income and expenditure. So earning may in form of salary, interest earning, gifts, etc. They all are incoming sources to your family. And what is expenditure? When you have to spend that incoming money to buy stuff for your family, for like medicines, clothes, house. Other needs are also there. If the children are there, then they have to go to school, so school fees, tuition fees, everything, they all comes under the expenditure. So a good family is one which plan its expenses in a such a way that they are incurred at a time when income are earned. Means when you are making any budget, a good family is called as a when your budget is like you are living with some amount of money even after buying all, even after meeting all the requirements of your family. If you are buying food also, you are buying clothes also, you have a house, you bought medicines also, but then you are left with some sort of money, you are not in negative. That is a uh, good way of spending your money. So this is all about food budget. What is a plan? How you can plan a budget? It is a detailed thinking basically where you pen down your incoming sources, your expenditures, and then you plan that how you will manage the 1 month for your family. So that they, their all the requirements, their all needs are to be fulfilled properly, and then also you are left with some sort of money which you can save for the later months. So this is all about planning. So it require a um, thinking, detailed thinking, because you have to plan it such a way that you have some money, you are left with some money in your hand which you can call as saving. Food expenditure which you consume to meet the food requirements are basically food budget, because these are the terms which they may ask you in exam. Budget, what is budget, and what is food budget? So food budget is simple, in simple words, food expenditure which you consume to meet food requirement is food budget. Now, how you can prepare a food budget? First, you should ascertain the different food items available. Basically, uh, the first point is that you have to see which food items are available in the market at a cheaper price. If you are buying seasonal fruits and vegetable, they must be in cheaper, they are present at a cheaper price. But if you are buying the items which are not seasonal and their season has gone because they have stored it for the later months, that fruit or that particular vegetable will, they will charge you high. So first of all, you always have to pick fruits and vegetable which are seasonal. Secondly, at what price they are available in different market, how the pricing being varying in market. While making a food budget, here are some important key points which you can keep in mind while preparing a food budget. First of all, as I told you, knowledge about the availability of different food items in your country, in your state, or in your community, which food items are available, their prices, so that you can compare the prices. One market must be providing that ingredient at some other price, and some other market maybe there is a variation of price, so you have to look at the price during the year. That is called as a price index. What is a price index? Price index is a system of expressing the current price as a percentage of base price. Like yearly basis pay, if you have to see, the price of a wheat must be varying, but in the season when the wheat is available, the crops are being harvested, then the rate must be different. So when you are calculating the percentage of that difference, this is called as a price index. Then moving forward, certain items are available at cheaper rates, like vegetable are cheaper during winters, whereas mangoes during summer. So as I told you, the seasonal vegetables are cheaper, and if you are going to buy mangoes in winter, then obviously the price must be high. So as per the season, you have to pick fruits and vegetable smartly. You have to make your food budget. Then wheat is harvested and sold in the month of April and May in our country, in India, and rice is bought in market for sale during November and December. So you have to procure the wheat in the months of April and May, so that you can get a best quality of wheat at a cheaper rate, and rice during winters, so that you can procure, store rice of a better quality for your family at a cheaper rate. If you are going to buy rice in April and May, and vice versa, if you are going to buy wheat in November and December, that will cost you differently. So these things you have to keep in mind while planning your food budget. Then and second point, you have to keep in mind that try to buy things in bulk. Those are dry in nature, like wheat, rice, sugar. They all are dry in nature, and they can be stored for a longer period of time. They are not perishable like fruits and vegetable, which you have to buy immediately when you are going to cook them or when you are going to have them. But these things you can store for a longer time. So try to purchase these things in bulk. When you buy things in bulk, they obviously the uh, price which shopkeeper will give you will be cheaper as compared to the items when you're going to buy only kg or 2 kg or 3 kg. So try to purchase things in bulk. So this was all about the food budgeting and how you can plan food budget for your family. Now we are coming to the another unit, which is starting with the selection of cereals. What are cereals, and how you have to select good quality of cereal, which point you have to keep in mind while buying cereals. We will be discussing all these things in the slides. So like cereals, wheat. What are cereals? Which is cereals are basically wheat, rice, jowar, bajra, ragi, maize, barley, kodri. They are the major cereals being used in India. Now I am gonna ask you all, because you all are from other country, so I'm asking you which cereal you consumed in high percentage, like which is your what is your staple diet? Can you tell me? It's wheat or rice or something else? Which cereal you consumed in your daily diet?
Please, one of you respond.
Which cereal you people consume?
It's rice. No, but when it comes
For my case, maize.
Okay, maize.
you can
Fine.
hear me.
Okay, moving forward. In India, we consume wheat and rice as our major as our major cereal product. Apart from that, in some states, bajra and ragi and maize are also being used as a cereal, but all of these comes under the cereal category. So what cereal provides us? Cereals, basically, why we consume cereal so much, the amount which we consume cereals is higher as compared to the other food ingredient. Why? Because they provide us energy. They give bulk to our diet. We feel heavy after eating cereal. So cereal has to be there in our plate. In the major portion should be covered by cereal because they provide bulk to the diet. They provide fiber to our diet, and cost of production is low. The wheat, rice, jowar, bajra, the raw material required for the farmers is low, so total production cost is low. Then easily, they are easily available. You can find out in any store, and even the season is not there, you can easily purchase these cereals from any of the shop, and they combine well with the food, such as when you are going to make any curry, vegetable curry, or if you are making pulse curry, meat, fish, so they go blend well with these things. That is the reason why we consume cereal in large amount in comparison to the other food ingredients. Then how you have to select the cereal? So as you can see in the picture also, the grains should not be dirty. They should not be, there should not be any infestation. So grain should be clean, free from dirt, dust, grit, etc. And there should be no infestation of insects and fungus and mold. And whole waste must be grind at home. You can buy your grinder and you can grind at home if you want to avoid the adulteration, because otherwise uh, there is a lot of adulteration in terms of maida and all that. And maida, if you're buying, maida is nothing but a refined flour out of which breads are making, biscuits are prepared. So maida and dalia should be free from insects and mold. So these things you have to keep in mind while you are going to purchase, because mostly these grains are, sold in a loose form. They are not in packaged form. So they are, the shopkeeper will give you in a loose form only. So you have to see there should be no infestation, there are no insects present in the grain. Coming to the rice, okay, before rice, these are some food products in which cereals are being used in our country, and that may vary from country to country. So you people can see out of which, as one of the students said, maize is being used as a staple diet. So what you prepare out of maize? We here in India, we prepare chapatis out of wheat, bread, biscuits, and there are various extruded products are also available, out of which we make pastas and macaronis. And then the refinest form of the wheat is suji, which we also called as a rava, which is being used to prepare the sweet dish in India called as halwa, or the upma, which are being consumed mainly in the southern part of India. Then coming to the rice. Rice is another cereal which is being widely consumed and used in India. Why? Because the cultivation of rice is being done at a high rate, and the weather is suitable, the soil is suitable for the rice cultivation. Then it is very simple to cook. You just need to boil them, and you can have it with any curry, any vegetable, meat or chicken. And they are attractive in appearance, and they are tasty. And apart from the raw rice, the processed rice products are also available, like puffed rice and rice flakes, out of which poha is being prepared. Then they are just simply made after soaking, hot water and then roasting in iron pan. You can have the puffed rice. So you need not to read all these things, that how puffed rice are prepared and which food items are being prepared by puffed rice. You just need to know that what rice is, and what are the points you have to keep in mind while you are going to purchase rice. So there is another term in your books which is given is parboiled rice. Parboiled rice are nothing but the rice are being soaked in hot water before consumption, so that the water soluble vitamins, as I uh, taught you in my earlier lecture also, that water soluble vitamins leaches out in water. So uh, to prevent the loss of water soluble vitamin, the parboiling is done with the rice. Why? So that vitamins and minerals can be stacked inside the wheat rice only. So this is a whole process by which parboiling is done. And why we are doing parboiling with the rice? Because they are more nutritious, as the vitamins and minerals are being sealed inside the rice only. When you will be cooking, it will take longer time to cook, but they are more tasty, and they are more nutritious in comparison to the normal diet. The polished rice are not good for health, because they are being polished with some material, and there is no vitamin present in them, because before polishing they are being washed, rigorously washed, and that leads to loss of water soluble vitamin, and that doesn't gives us anything apart from carbohydrates. So parboiled rice are advantageous, and they should be preferred over polished rice, and they are cheaper also in price, and they are they can be stored for a longer time, so they have a keeping better keeping quality. So this is all about the parboiled rice, and how the vitamins and minerals are stacked inside the sack only, in the outer layer only. You can see in the picture, it is visible. Now we are moving forward with how you can select the best rice. So selection of rice should be as per the need, because there are lot of variety of rice available in the market. So what kind of rice your family like and you like, as per the preferences you can buy them. Thin long variety for pulao, if you are making pulao, like in India we make pulao. So thin and long variety is required for making pulao, and short rice is required for making khichdi, idli and dosa. Idli and dosa are the staple food being consumed in the southern part of the India. So if you are from South India, then the choice of rice depends on the uh, cooking, like what you are cooking in your kitchen. So if you are making idli and dosa, you have to pick white short rice, and if you are making pulao, like pulao is being used consumed in North India majorly, so then you have to pick thin and long variety for that. Then finer variety of suji for upma and halwas are being used, as I shown you in the picture. Then again, the processed rice like puffed rice or chidwa, that should be crisp in nature. They should not be soggy, because they are um, mm, puffed by with the help of the hot sand. So they should be crisp in nature, otherwise the taste will be compromised. The uh, recipe which you are going to prepare, that will be not at at a good point, and not have a gravel, grit and sand. So sand should not be there. The any other foreign particle should not be there in the puffed rice, because it is consumed as such, in a form of bhel puri, or you know you can have it as such. So they should be free from any foreign material or any grit or sand. So these are the things which are very simple, which you have to keep in mind while selecting rice. Now this is the picture showing the items which are being prepared in India with the rice. As I told you, pulao, idli, which is being used in south part of India, then firni, and which is a sweet dish, and there is a picture on the right hand side showing you the puffed rice, bhel, which is being largely consumed in our country. Then a picture showing you the poha, which is being made out of rice flakes. Now moving forward, after reading about the cereals, there is another category which is being used on a large level, are millets. There are number of coarse cereal or millets prepared, being cultivated in our country. They are known as the millets. They are also called as a dry crops because they can grow where there is not enough rain available. So if the water scarcity is there, they can be easily grown, and that is the reason why bajra, which is known as a pearl millet, is being cultivated in Rajasthan majorly, and where it is too hot or to grow wheat, so they can be grown in the poor soils as well. The commonly used ones are jowar, bajra, and ragi. uh, Talking about bajra and jowar, they are also used for preparing the chapati in our country, and they are easily digestible. And the fiber content which is present in jowar and bajra is really high, and that is why it is always suggested that your wheat, which you are consuming in your daily life, should be fortified with these millets, so that the bioavailability of the minerals, vitamins, even fiber is being improved. When you are having chapati of a multigrain atta, that is more nutritious in comparison to the chapati which are being prepared alone with the help of wheat. So your wheat has to be fortified with the bajra and jowar, so because they are easily digestible and they provide you a numerous number of fibers. Then maize is another millet extensively used in many parts of India. It is not a staple ingredient in our country, but it is eaten raw as well as tender. So maize flour is also available, and maize chapatis are being prepared over in India, to have it with some curries, vegetable curry and all that. And breakfast cereal like cornflakes are also available nowadays, and children, and they are having cornflakes with the milk. So it is a breakfast cereal. So maize is being used in our kitchen, but not as much as wheat and rice. Corn oil and cornstarches are also being prepared out of maize, and they are also used in cooking. Then here is the picture I'm showing you what ragi is and how it looks like. Ragi is basically grown and used in the south part of India, and they prepared ragi balls and ragi roti out of it. In Maharashtra also, the ragi is being consumed at a high level, and they are very rich in calcium. And how the ragi balls are prepared, I have just given that in this slide. You can just read it down, which is not even required, but just for your thorough knowledge, I have given the recipe over here. You can see what ragi is and where it is grown, can be asked in your exam. Now, after reading about the cereals, millets, we are moving towards the fats and oil. That what are the factors you have to keep in mind while selecting your fats and oil. So, we need fats and oil to make foodstuffs into a variety of recipes. Because if you are preparing food without oils, it is not possible. You need greasiness. You need little moisture, which oils and fats provide you to make your recipe more tastier and more appealing to the eye, and it help make your appetite good. So for cooking, to give richness, to give flavor, to give taste, oils, fats and oil, different type of fats and oil are being used. Especially in India, we use a lot of oil in our cooking. An important and concentrated source of energy, as cereals gives us energy, fats and oil also provides us energy, and some essential nutrients also, and especially fat soluble vitamins are being provided by the fats and oil. Then, which nitrate sources are there which provides us fats and oil? They can be classified as a visible and invisible. Visible fat, under that ghee, vegetable oil, vanaspati, they comes because they are hydrogenated in nature, and you can use in your cooking. An invisible fat, which is this I told you in the earlier lecture also, that they are present in ingredients which are uh, which we are consuming in our daily life. Like egg yolk also contain fat, but you don't know, you cannot see it. And then cereals also provide you some amount of fat. Then nuts also provide you some amount of fat. Almonds contain almond oil. Same seeds contains oil, and like this. You have a lot of ingredients that contain oil in the form in invisible form. So there are two sources from which you can get your fat. One is visible and one is invisible. Now, what points you will consider while selecting the oils and fat? First of all, it should have a natural color. If a mustard oil looks yellow in color, then it has to be in yellow in color. It should not look like dull or brown or some other color. So there should be naturality in the color and the flavor, and it should be clean and free from any solid particle. You can see it with your help with the help of your naked eyes that the oil must be free from any kind of a dirt or dust or sand or bad odor. It should not be rancid in nature. Rancid is what, when you are feeling soreness in oil, you can smell it. If the oil is not smelling fresh and it's giving you bad odor, then you should not buy that. Then do not try to buy oils and fats which are sealed in nature, in tins, in poly jars. You try not to purchase oils and fats which are loose in nature. And butter should be packed in hygienic package. It should be firm and have a fresh flavor. If you are buying a stale butter, it will not taste good. So you have to keep these all points in your mind while purchasing your fats and oil, because you have to check whether the packaging is good or not. Is there any leakage or not? You have to see best before while purchasing, and check for certification mark if you have any in your country. Like in India, we have ISI mark, which gives us a surety that the food ingredients which we are buying is of good qualities. They are prepared by using good ingredients. So you have to check for all these things while purchasing the oils and fats, and try to purchase them in packaged form rather than loose form. Then moving forward to the selection and preparation of sugar and jaggery and other sweetened agents. There are a lot of there are many types of sugar which are being consumed, like granulated sugar, icing sugar, sugar cubes, and jaggery. You can see in the picture. The icing sugar is being used in the bakery products. The sugar cubes are used for making ready-made tea, and the granulated sugar are being used in kitchen for making sweet dishes and all that. So there are three forms of sugars which are there in the market. So, how you can select the sugar and jaggeries? Buy sugar according to its intended use. Like icing sugar, if you are buying, then if you have to prepare cakes, if you have to prepare bakery products, then you have to prepare icing sugar. Then granulated sugar, as I told you, sugar cubes are used making ready-made coffee and tea. Then castor sugar, which we are using for making biscuits and cakes. And so there are different type of sugars which you can purchase as per your requirement. And while buying sugar, uh, just you can see it with the help of your naked eyes that it should be free from any kind of a dirt or any kind of a dust, and the lumps should not be there. If lumps are there, that means your sugar have got some moisture. It is not fresh, because if moisture is there, the sugar will make lumps. And adulterants are also being used in sugar, so you have to keep that thing also in mind while purchasing sugar, that it should not be adulterated with suji or any foreign material. It has to be pure in nature. Again, I'm saying that try to purchase in packets with a certification mark which gives you a surety that the product you are buying is of good quality. uh, this is the slide showing you the usage of sugar, which is quite general in nature. Like it's used in making beverages, make in preparing sweet dishes. Then to reduce the natural bitterness. Also, like in chutneys, jam and jellies, the sugar is used in high percentage. And preservative sugar is being used as a preservative also, because at higher concentration it inhibits the activity of microbes, so it is used as a preservative also. And icing sugar is being used in the decoration of bakery products, like in creams, it molded in creams, and then that cream is used on the top of the cakes, muffins, and cupcakes. So this is how the sugar is being used in our kitchens. Now, talking about the artificial sweeteners, they are the substitutes for sugar. They are not sugar prepared from sugarcane. They are the chemical agents that are used in processed foods, basically, to make them sweet. Like if you have a diabetes, there are various tablets available in the market that gives you a sweetened taste. They are not sugars, but they are substitutes to sugar, because they are made up of aspartame and not glucose. Aspartame can be consumed by the diabetic people, but then again in some proportion. It's not like you can have it in any amount. So there are certain levels which have been decided by the food authorities, that only this much quantity can be consumed. So aspartame is being used as an artificial sweetener, um, and that is why the diabetic people use sugar free, which are readily available in our today's market. They are using that artificial sweetener for making their tea, making their other dishes sweet in nature. Then because you are having artificial sweetener called as aspartame, you are not consuming glucose, then you are preventing tooth decay and cavities, which uh, in case of sugar, that can happen with your teeth and cavities if you are having it in large quantity. So this is all about the artificial sweetener. You need not to know much about it, but yes, you should know that what artificial sweeteners are, and in which, by which people they are being used, and how and in what quantity they must be consumed. Now, after sweeteners, we have pulses. Important part is that pulses are being consumed in India, and there are lot many pulses which are being cultivated in India, like rajma, chana, besan, moong, arhar. These are the basic common names of pulses. You must not be aware of these names, but they are used in Indian curries. And pulses provides us good protein, good amount of protein. Those who are not consuming meat sources, they get their protein from the pulses only. And we can improve the quality of protein by eating in combination with cereals, because there are certain amino acids which are presented in pulses, but they are lacking in cereals, and those are lacking in cereals, they are present in pulses. So if you eat these two in combination, then you are improving the quality of protein in your diet, because you are getting all the essential amino acid in one plate. So it is always advisable to have pulses along with the cereal. So like khichdi, in India, we make khichdi by mixing pulse and moong dal, that is pulse, with the rice. So it is a combination of moong dal and rice, we call it khichdi. So khichdi is a product that provides us good quality of protein. And another example is dosa, which is a combination of, again, dal and rice. Then the nutritional importance of pulse. As I told you, they provides us protein as well as in cereals. And there is a one dal which is known as a Bengal gram dal, that contains 17% of protein, uh, which is almost double of the milled rice. So pulses are good sources of protein. You should have you should know about this, that what pulses contains good amount of protein. Then soya bean is again a pulse which provides you high percentage of protein, that is 43%. So Pulses are nothing but they provide us protein. In continuation, they also provide us minerals and vitamins. They provide us thiamine, which is a vitamin B1, niacin, which is a vitamin B3, and calcium and iron. They contain little amount of vitamin C as well. And during fermentation, if you sprout them, if you ferment them, then the availability of the vitamin increases. And sprouting of dal reduces cooking time too. So it is always advisable to consume sprouts as much as you can, because they provide us good amount of minerals and vitamins along with the high percentage of protein. Now, what are the points you have to keep in mind while selecting pulses? Again, nothing different from cereals. They should be clean, does not have any twigs or gravel. They should again should not be infested with any insects. They should be free from any kind of a moisture, because moisture attracts fungus. So there should be dry in nature. There should not be any kind of a moisture available. Again, why packed pulses? Uh, because the adulteration chances are less. There is a net weight provided on the packet, and the quality is good because you are getting the pulses with a certification mark. So always try to purchase them in a packed form. Now we are moving forward with the selection of milk and milk products. What is milk, and what milk products are, and what are the points you have to keep in mind while selecting your products? So milk is a nutrient rich white liquid food produced by the mammary gland of mammals. We get it from the cow, buffalo, goat, even camel. So the mammals basically provides you the milk. And in India, cow and buffalo milk is being consumed at a higher percentage in comparison to the other. And for the infant, mother's milk is being provided, and it is always advisable for the mothers that they should breastfeed their infant for continuously, exclusively for 6 months, because mother milk is the milk that provide you all the nutrients, all the vitamins and minerals in good amount, which none of the milk can provide you, like mm, cow's milk, buffalo milk. They are nothing in comparison to the breast milk. So our infant has to be exclusively breastfed for the 6 months, so that they can get all the essential nutrients they require for their growth and development, because they are only on dependent on milk. They are not consuming any other complementary foods. So an infant has to be totally should consume to only mother's milk, not other milk. Then apart from this, different animal also produces milk. Milk can be takes as such, or it can be made into various products. Now in India, we consume milk, and we prepare other byproducts also out of the milk, like khoya, which is being used in preparing the various different type of sweets in India. And then paneer, the other name of the paneer is cottage cheese. You must be aware of the cottage cheese. Ghee is again made up of milk only, and butter. So these are the different products which are being prepared out of milk. You can consume it as such by mixing it with the sugar or some flavors, or you can have it as such. And then if you're not having milk, if you are lactose intolerant, which is a disease where you cannot digest milk, because there is a sugar present in milk which is called as a lactose, and you are unable to digest that lactose, then you are a lactose intolerant patient. And because you cannot have milk, you can have other products like cottage cheese, ghee and butter. So out of milk you can prepare curd also. So these are the things which can be prepared out of milk. Now talking about the nutritive value of milk, milk is almost a complete food, because it gives you all type of nutrients, protein, fats, carbs, minerals, vitamins. So it is a complete food. And and this is the reason why uh, infants only take milk only for their growth and development, and not other foods like cereals, pulses. So they are totally dependent on milk only. Then talking about the protein content of milk, they provide you good quality of protein because they have all the essential nutrients in them, essential amino acids. And for vegetarian, it's a source of protein again because it provides you protein in a higher content in comparison to the other beverages. Then fats, easily digestible fat is present in them because they are present in a form of a emulsion. Emulsions are nothing but the immiscible liquid of water and fat. Then carbohydrates, milk contains sugar. As I told you, it contains lactose, which are easily digestible by infants, but lactose intolerant infants cannot digest this lactose, and hence they have to um, have some other type of a milk like soy milk or something uh, else because they cannot digest the sugar which is present in milk. So other resources are there for them. Even adults are lactose intolerant, so they have to avoid having milk. Otherwise, they are allergic to milk and their condition can be severe. Then there are other minerals and vitamins also which are present in milk, like the source of calcium and phosphorus. It is good for our bones, it is good for our teeth. They provide you good source of vitamin A, B complex, especially riboflavin. So there are many type of minerals and vitamins present in milk, especially vitamin A, calcium and phosphorus. So you have to keep this thing in mind, that they provide you protein, fat, sugar, which is known as a lactose, and minerals, especially calcium and phosphorus and vitamin A. So these are the point I have given in points. You can easily recall them and write down in your notebook. Then there are different type of milk available in the market. There is a polypack milk available, then homogenized milk is also available. Polypack milk are coming in four different type. Whole cream, which is also called as a full cream, and this is the expensive milk because it contains 6% of fat. uh, they are being packed as such. It is coming from the cow and buffalo, and there is no removal of fat layer. But the consumers who are not advised, who are not ready to take that whole cream milk, there are other type of milks are also available like skimmed milk, double toned and toned, in which the fat layer is being removed at certain percentage level. Like in skim milk, first fat layer is being removed. Toned is completely fat free milk. So those who doesn't want to have fat in their milk, who want to who are on diet and they don't want to consume fat, they are consuming toned milk. And those who want to have milk with a high cream, they can buy full cream, but it is expensive in nature. Then we have a homogenized milk also in India, which is collected from both. Fat is broken down into small particles which do not separate as a malai on top. So this is a milk in which milk is being churned at a very high temperature so that the fat which is being presented on the top layer of milk is broken down into small particles, and the milk is now look like an emulsion. And your fat layer, your malai, you won't be able to see it on the top of your milk. So this is called as a homogenized milk. And before purchasing it to the before giving it to the consumers, the milk companies, they first uh, pasteurize the milk. What is pasteurization? They just boil the milk at a very high temperature at a certain pressure that milk is just ready for your consumption. You need not to boil it further at household level, and it also increases the shelf life of milk. So this is the reason why every company first pasteurize their milk and then they distribute it for the consumers. Now moving forward, coming commonly used milk products, as I told you, curd, cottage cheese, cream, khoa, and butter and ghee. These are the commonly used or consumed milk products in India. You can note down, and then which points you have to keep in mind while selecting milk and milk product. So it is always wiser to buy milk from reliable sources like some agencies. It must be pasteurized, as I told you, because pasteurization kills the microbes which are harmful for our health, first of all, and then it increases the shelf life also. It avoids the growth of any kind of a microorganisms. So whatever the microorganisms are present in raw milk, they are being killed with the help of a step known as a pasteurization. Then avoid buying milk from milk vendors, local milk vendors, because there are chances that they adulterate your milk with the water. So try to purchase milk from some authentic agencies. Then curd should not be, purchase. You should avoid purchasing a curd. It is always advisable that you can set curd easily at home, so it is more hygienic and in cheaper in rate. So try to set your curd at home. Then buy cottage cheese which is free from fungus and bad color. There should not be any greenish appearance on the paneer, which is due to the mold, and maybe because of the fungus. So try to purchase again packed ones. If there is a bad odor, if there is a smell coming out of a paneer, that means it is not fresh and the cottage cheese is stale in nature. Then khoa should be firm. Khoa is, as I told you, is a concentrated cream of the milk, but it is used in India only for making sweets. So that should also be again firm in nature, and it should not be having any unpleasant odor. There should be fresh smell uh, coming out of khoa if you are purchasing it from the market. Then cream should be fresh and free from any sour taste or smell, because if you are purchasing rancid cream that is having a stale smell because of the oils and fats which are being present in the cream, so it always should be fresh, and the taste which is coming out should not be sour. Here are some milk products which are being prepared in our country. Milkshakes out of milk, khoa, which is again used in making burfis, and milk porridge, a variety of raitas, which is used in culinary dish, which is a culinary dishes. Then paneer preparations are always there in the Indian plates, because it is widely consumed by all the in all the states, and used in making vegetable curry also, paneer, and making tikkas also it is being used. So these are the products which are being prepared. Then coming to the selection of flesh food, there are many types of fresh foods which are available in the market, like mutton, lamb, beef, veal, pork, prepared meat also, poultry, fish, and other seafoods. So these are the types of flesh foods which are available, but we just have to read about this selection of good uh, quality of flesh foods. Our focus is on that. Now, talking about the flesh food, these are the meats of animal, birds, and fish. They are the expensive source of protein, and they are expensive in nature. Per kg charges you a lot as compared to the vegetable and fruits. The consumption regulated by the religious belief only. Some are not eating pork, some avoid having beef. So as per their beliefs and religion, the consumption are depending on that. Now talking about the selection and purchase of flesh foods, always buy such food from clean and reputed shop. The If the shop is not clean and it's dirty, and there are chances of contamination, because flesh foods are perishable in nature, and they contain lot of moisture, and there can be some growth on that. So you should always purchase them from a clean and reputed shop. And flesh foods from old animal or stale flesh foods can cause harm to your body, because if the flesh foods are stale, there must be some microbial growth on that. And if those microbes are dangerous for our body, like if salmonella has been grown on a fish or any flesh food, then it is very dangerous to our body, and food intolerance can be, food allergy or food intolerance can happen to you. So always try to purchase the flesh which is from the fresh animal. Presence of disease causing organism in these foods is also injurious to our health. If you are, um, slaughtering an animal which is already having a disease, that can transfer to you, and that can lead to serious diseases in your body. So you try to, and this is the reason I'm focusing on saying it again and again, that try to purchase it from some reputed shops. Then by observing the appearance also, you can see that what kind of which quality of meat is good and which is not good, because if the tissues are softened and they are not stiff in nature, and it's looking stale, then you can simply say that it's not of good quality. So stiff meat should be stiff in nature, it should be rigid, it should not be soft, and uh, should not contain microbes, and appearance should be good. Then there are other factors also which you have to keep in mind while purchasing flesh foods, like flesh should be pinkish red. It has to be firm in nature, as I told you right now. It should have a flaky and brittle. It should not be soft and slimy. Bones should be soft, red, and spongy. There should be some sponginess in them. And poor quality. How you will see what poor quality? How poor quality meat is looking? It will be darker in color, and the fat layer will be heavier, and there must be some odor coming out of that, which is strong flavor also, which can lead to strong giving you a strong flavor. So these are the points which you have to keep in mind while buying or purchasing meat, flesh foods. So it has to be pinkish in nature, the fat should be firm, it has to be flaky and brittle, and the bones have to be soft, red, and spongy. There should be no foul odor coming out of that, no strong flavor, and the meat color should be pinkish red, it should not be darker in nature. Now coming to the eggs, egg is highly nutritious in nature because the egg yolk contains protein, good quality protein, and eggs are being eaten at a very large percentage of consumers are there who eat egg. So, and commonly eaten egg is of hen in India. So let's talk about what point you have to keep in mind while buying egg. First of all, fresh egg when broken in a plate, it has a firm round yolk. Uh, you must have seen while breaking any egg, a firm round yolk which is yellow in color, it has to come out. If your egg is stale, it will spread onto the plate and it will start creating a foul smell. So this is a good point which you can keep in mind, that yolk has to be firm and round in color and yellow in color. Fresh egg will sink in water. If you will drop your egg into the bucket of water, then it will sink in water. But if the egg is stale in nature, it will start floating. So this is the test which you can do at a household level to check the freshness of any egg. If your egg is floating, that means your egg is stale in nature, and if your egg is sink down into the water bucket, a bucket of water, then it is fresh in nature because they are heavier in nature. This was all about the egg. Now talking about the poultry. Skin should be soft and tear easily. Breastbone should be bend easily. If you twist the wings, it should break the shoulder joints, and select the female bird over male bird because they have a better flavor and better taste in comparison to the male birds. So there are not many points into that, but yeah, these 3 points are important and you can note down it. That skin has to be soft, it should tear easily, the breastbone should bend easily. If you twist the wings, it should break the shoulder joint, and if you're selecting female bird, that the flavor will be better in comparison to the male bird. I guess I'm clear till now. If any student have any query, they can just write down their questions in the chat box, or they can interrupt me in between too. Now coming to the fishes, what you have to see, which points you have to keep in mind while selecting the fish. So the body has to be stiff in nature. There must be light scales, red gills, bright eyes. Outer surface should not be slimy, and fresh fish again will sink in water while stale fish will start floating, because fish will be have are heavier in nature, and they will, you know, just sink in what bucket of the water. So you can do it in your, this test you can perform at your household level to check the freshness of fish. This is a simple test, anybody can do it, and stale fish will start floating. So these are the points which you can, I have given in simple points, so that you can write it down, and if the questions are coming in exam, you can just give the points, important points. So stiff body, light scale, red gills, bright eyes. Now we are moving forward to the nuts and oil seeds. Nuts like cashew nuts, almonds, walnut, groundnuts, sesame seed, mustard, they all have oils in them, and we have to extract these oil from the seeds of these nuts. And there are many extraction processes are there by which, you know, we extract the oils out of these nuts. And they are the source of our fats and oil. In Indian kitchen, basically, we use mustard oil, and coconut oil is also being used in our cooking. And almond oil is not used in our cooking, but yes, these two oils are being used in our kitchens. They are good source of protein again, and they provide us energy. And they are good source of beta carotene and niacin. What is beta carotene? Anybody can tell me what is beta carotene? If you guys are not sleeping, then you can just give me answer. I'm asking you a question. What is beta carotene? Because I taught you in my earlier lectures. Anyone? Okay, nobody. So beta carotene is nothing but a form of vitamin A, if you guys remember. So they are a good source of fats, and oil provides us good source of vitamin A, and niacin, which is a vitamin B3. Also contains minerals like iron and calcium. If you are having mustard, they are rich in iron. If you are taking sesame seeds, they are rich in calcium too. So depending on the type of oils, type of seeds you are using to extract your oil, they provide you nutrients. But all of them provide you good protein and fat soluble vitamins. Now, what point you have to keep in mind while selecting the nuts and oil seeds? Nuts are expensive foods, so you have to be more cautious before buying these, because you are buying them in very small quantities. In nuts, most cheaper nut is groundnut, and it is nutritionally equal to almonds. Almonds are very expensive, and very few people can able to purchase almonds. So those who are not able to purchase almonds, they can have groundnuts, which is a uh, again source of protein. So while purchasing, check that they are not spoiled. If they are not stale, they are not shriveled, they are not infested. As you can see in the picture, there is a picture showing groundnuts which are not good in quality. You can see a mold growth over there. You can see um, uh, the groundnuts are shriveled in nature, and they are not looking fresh. They are not good in color, and must be infestation is there too, because some of the groundnuts are open. So the picture is showing you the bad quality of new groundnut. So before purchasing them, you have to keep in mind that they are not spoiled. There is no outer growth, uh, any kind of a microbial growth over there. There should not be any changes in color. Like if you can see, the groundnut color which is shown in picture is not good. So the seeds are not shriveled, and they are not infested with any insect. So these are the points which you have to keep in mind while purchasing the nuts and oil seeds. Now, moving forward, we are here to talk about the vegetables and fruit. How and what point you have to keep in mind while selecting the vegetables. Vegetables give variety to your diet. As I told you, vegetables can be blended into the curry, they can be used in preparing the various recipes which can be blended with the cereals and pulses. So they add variety to your diet, they add color to your diet because vegetables are different in color. They are present in like tomatoes are red in color, spinach is green in color, then bell peppers are there yellow, red, uh, and then lot of colors are there in your plate, so they make your dishes appealing and beautiful. Apart from the color, they also provide you nutrients. They make your food tasty and they are easy to digest. Then that is the reason you are always advisable to add more and more seasonal vegetable in your diet because they provide you ample number of vitamins and mineral. Then knowledge about vegetable is important for our health. That at if you are diabetic in nature, which vegetable is advisable? Can anybody tell me that which vegetable is advisable for diabetic patient? Is there anyone who's awake and can tell me? Students, I'm asking you a question. Are you there?
Cucumber.
Okay, cucumber. Particularly, which vegetable we suggest for a diabetic patient?
Cucumber.
Okay. And my answer is bitter gourd. If you have heard about it and if you had it, I don't know about your country, but in India we cultivate bitter gourd. So, which is very bitter in taste, and that's the name suggests also. So we use bitter gourd for treating this ailment, and bitter gourd is the vegetable that is being advisable for diabetic people. So, knowledge is very important. If you're diabetic, have lot of bitter gourd, as the student said, lot of cucumber because they are rich in fiber, and if you know spinach you can add because that provides you many because they are rich in iron. So if a person is anemic and the hemoglobin levels are low, they can have spinach and they can add spinach in their daily life. So knowledge is really important before purchasing and before buying vegetables. Then we must also know how to best buy these from market, like which vegetables are like seasonal vegetables are cheaper in price and they provide you maximum amount of nutrients because they are fresh, they are not stored for longer period of time. So because they are perishable in nature, they should not be stored for a longer period of time. But because the demand is high, people demand them even in the off season. So shopkeepers try to store them in their freezer or refrigerators and then they purchase later it on, but they are stale and they cannot provide you that amount of nutrients. So try to buy those which are seasonal. Then there is a classification of vegetable like green leafy vegetable, roots and tuber, and other vegetable. Under green leafy vegetables there are vegetables which are leafy in nature like spinach, kale, um, methi, fenugreek leaves, and colocasia leaves. So they are leaves which are being used in daily life. Then roots and tuber includes potato and carrots, sweet potato, um, then beetroot. They are the roots and tuber. Peas, shalgam. So these are the pak choy. So they are the roots and tubers which are being used in our kitchens. Then other vegetables include brinjal, onions, tomato, peppers, bell peppers. So these are the other vegetables. So eat variety of. It is always said that you have to eat variety of vegetables so that you can get maximum number of nutrients, and they are nutritious, add variety and flavor to your diet. So why not to add them in your diet? So try to have lot of vegetables in your plate if you want to stay healthy. Now, here are some hints for better selection. Like if you are purchasing beans, what points you have to keep in mind? Reject dry looking beans. Choose those with small and semi developed seed inside. Because if you are buying beans which are, older, they will be having bigger seeds and but they will not taste good. So try to choose which are, tender in nature. So beans which are tender and not dry. Then cauliflower, if you are picking, then pick up the white and tight ones. If you are choosing looser ones, then there are 100% chances of infestation. There must be insect present inside them, and the whiteness, if they are yellow in nature, that means they are not fresh. They are stale. Then if you are choosing cucumber, select the shiny ones, medium size one. If you are taking oversized ones, they are not, they will not taste good. Onions, if you're buying them, try to reject which are soft, those who have caught the moisture, because if you're buying moist onions, they are, they are not good, and they are not fresh in nature. They got moisture from anything, from maybe from the weather or from packaging. So if they are moist ones, then you should always avoid having those. Then spinach, mustard, methi, that is fenugreek leaves. If you're buying fresh leafy vegetables, then you always have to see the color. They must be dark in color. They should be crispness in them, and avoid worm eaten vegetables. If the leaves are eaten by worms, then there were worm infestation around when they were cultivating these leaves. So try to avoid those purchasing those leaves. Try to buy those who are darker in color and those are fresh and crisp in nature. So these are some hints. I can't read for all the vegetables, so I have taken the vegetables from each category. You can read it down, you can note it down, and then you later on you can read it from your reading material too, that what points you have to keep in mind while purchasing vegetables. Then coming to the fruits, fruits are nothing but seed bearing parts of the plant. They are the edible part and they are juicy in nature, they are pulpy in nature. Some are sweet, some are sour, some are blend of both these, sweet and sour. So um, again, they are, a variety of fruits are available in different colors, so try to have them as much as you can because they provide you most of the nutrients. So fruits are very good for our health, and they can be eaten with minimum nutrient losses because fruits are eaten as such. They do not require any kind of a cooking or any kind of a processing. You just can pluck it from the tree or pluck it from the plant, and you just wash it and have it. So the nutrient losses are 0% because you are having it as such. So this is the reason why fruits provide you most of the nutrients available in them. So try to have them, try to add them in your daily diet. And there are cheaper fruits also available and expensive one. You can avoid expensive fruits, but you can have fruits which are available in your community, which are, are available at a cheaper rate, so that you can also get the maximum amount of nutrients. Then there is also a classification according to the color, according to the nutrients, like yellow fruit, vitamin C rich fruit, and other fruits. Yellow fruits provides you a lot of vitamin A, beta carotene, and all that. Vitamin C rich fruits are kiwi, oranges, and guava. They are also vitamin C rich. Plums. So there are many fruits that provides you vitamin C. Other fruits are like apples, bananas. Bananas are rich in potassium. Grapes. So there are a lot of fruits which can provide you nutrients. Then what are the things you have to keep in mind while you're selecting these fruits from the market? Like if you are having apples, good quality apples are firm, crisp, deep colored and heavy. Different varieties are available, like delicious Kashmiri apples are there, golden of course, Shimla. These are the states in India basically where the apples are being cultivated and grown. So Kashmir is a state in India, in Himalayas, where the good quality of apples are being grown. So different varieties of apples are being grown, and delicious apples are being grown in Kashmir. Red of Kullu. Again, Kullu is a place in India where the apples are being grown. So a good quality apple are firm and crisp in nature if they are not, uniform in color. If there is a if they are not looking, fresh, you can just see by your naked eyes that apples are fresh or not. If apple is fresh, it will be uniform in color, there is firmness, and they are unique looking crisp. So this is how you can choose your apples. If you're talking about bananas, then try to avoid the bananas which have brushes on them, which have turned black, which are overripe. They can ripen at room temperature. So bananas are all highly perishable in nature. Uh, those are green, they are raw, and those are turned yellow, they are ripe ones. But if you are buying overripe ones, they will turn, you know, you can't have them in the next day. So try to purchase those are fresh. Then if you're talking about grapes, it should be plumpy in nature. They are properly colored and firmly attached to the stems. If the stem is not there, the grapes are not of good quality. And there are also varied varieties of grapes available, like seedless, then black in color, green in color. So depending on the color also, and depending on the presence of seed also, the grapes are being sold in the market. So as per your preference, you can buy, but you just have to keep in mind that they are properly colored and they are firmly attached to the stem. So these are the different points you have to keep in mind while purchasing the fruits. Coming to the spices and condiments. Spices are basically used in Indian culinary kitchens only. I'm not aware of your country where which spices are you guys are used. If you use spices, just tell me which spices you people are consuming apart from salt. Anybody know which spice is being used in your country, extensively used in your country? Can anybody tell me which spice you are eating in your daily life apart from salt? Anyone? Okay, no one. So in India, we used variety of spices in our dishes. Apart from salt, we have chilies, red chilies, black pepper, turmeric, and coriander powder. We have lot many spices available like cloves, cardamom, and as per their taste and people preferences, they use in their daily diet. Well, why we are using them? Just to make the food attractive? No, to make food palatable also, and for proper to promote appetite also. Like we are using asafoetida, which is commonly called as a hing. This is also a spice, but we are using it to improve the digestion. So they also perform different various roles in our body. So this is the reason we use them in our dishes. Some of them are rich in minerals, especially iron. Some are good source of vitamins and minerals also. So they are not only making our food attractive and palatable, but they are supplying some sort of nutrients also. Okay. Then, how we are not going in detail which spices are there and what are their roles. I'm not gonna talk about all that. Just we have to concentrate on how to select good quality of spice. So they also should be selected wisely because there are lot many chances of being adulteration in spices. It is easy to adulterate them because they are just little seeds and you can adulterate them easily. So avoid buying ground buy them whole and get them ground yourself, because you don't know what shopkeeper have grounded in your spice. So try to buy them in whole form. Like if you want black pepper powder, try to purchase black pepper first and then grind it at your household level, so that you can have unadulterated spice in your kitchen. If you want turmeric, try to buy the roots only and then dry them at your place and then ground them into the powder to use into the curries. So this is what I'm talking, that try to purchase in whole form rather than in grounded form, because there are less chances of adulteration. Then it should be free from any gravel, grit and dirt. Again, they should be clean, and they should be of good quality. If there is any kind of a moisture in them, there is moisture is there, then they must have caught fungus. If there is a fungal growth, that will be dangerous for your health. And if the color is not good, like black pepper is not looking black but brown in color, and the turmeric is not uh, dingy yellow in color, but it is, dull yellow in color, so color has to be good. Buy spices in packed form. Again, I'm saying that the product which you are buying, try to buy them in packaged form, because there is a best before giving over there is expiry date labeled on the food packets, and then certification mark. Here in India, we have a egg mark certification mark for spices. So whenever we are buying any kind of a spice in our from the market, we always look for the certification mark before buying, because if the packet is marked with the egg mark, then it is assuring you that you are having the good quality of spice in your kitchen. So try to purchase them in packet, and look for the certification mark before purchasing. Now we are coming to the selection of beverages, that how what beverages are, what type of beverages are available, and how you can select these beverages. Okay, what are beverages? Beverages are nothing but what we drink directly as a water. Water is okay, it's an essential thing. You need water for your normal life, for proper growth and development, for proper functioning of brain also you need water. But apart from water, there are many different beverages available in the market. Like we prepare it in our kitchens, like tea, coffee, milkshakes, fruit juices, and tea, coffee, they are called as a beverage, hot beverages, because they are always served hot in nature. Coffee can be called coffee also, but tea is always served hot, so they are hot beverages. Then milkshakes, you can prepare milkshakes out of milk blending with any kind of a fruit. Then fruit juices, where you can make fruit juices at home also. But apart from these beverages, refreshing beverages, we have some carbonated drinks also, which are available in the market, like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Thumbs Up, 7 Up. They are the packed carbonated drinks. They are nothing but the water that gives you a lot of sugar, because ample amount of sugar is being used in preparing these carbonated drinks, and they are not good for your health. So you should always avoid having carbonated drinks. So these are the two categories of drinks available in the market. One is refreshing beverages like fruit juices, milkshakes, which refreshes you, tea, coffee. And then second category is carbonated drinks, that are packed ones. They are packed under high pressure, uh, along, because they contains only carbon dioxide and sugar, so they are not good for your health. They just provide you a cold sensation in your body, but they doesn't provide you any kind of a nutrients. They are just provide you empty calories. Now, as I told you, beverages are categorized into three categories: stimulating beverages that stimulate our nervous system and that makes you more active and alert. They are tea and coffee. When you have tea, uh, your brain starts work, because you becomes more alert, and your brain when you're feeling sleepy, when you're feeling tired, you just have a cup of tea and your brain will start working. So that is the reason they are categorized under stimulating beverages. Then refreshing beverages that refreshes you, like fruit juices, like if you're having a mint juice, if you're having a um, orange juice, mosambi juice, they refreshes your mood and they provide you a sense of relaxedness. So that is a refreshing beverages. Then third category is nourishing beverages, like milkshakes that provide you certain nutrients because they are provide nourishing your body with some sort of vitamins and minerals, and that is the reason they are categorized under nourishing beverages. Certain milkshake like banana milkshake provide you uh, energy and it provide you potassium, iron. And if you're making a mango milkshake, that provides you a lot of vitamin A because mangoes are rich in vitamin A. So they are not only giving you water, but along with that, they are giving you some nutrients also. So they are nourishing your body. Hence, the beverages are categorized into uh, three category, but there is another category which in carbonated drinks comes. So they doesn't provide you any nutrients, they just provide you empty calories. So there is another category you can add that called as a carbonated drinks, under which Coca-Cola, Pepsi and these thumbs ups and 7 ups they comes, and they just provide you sort of energy. After talking about the category of beverages, now you there are certain points that you know have to keep in mind while selecting this tea and coffee. Like try whole leaf variety. For a strong cup of tea, select granular tea. Always buy tea and coffee which are sealed and packed in airtight containers. Avoid buying loose from the market. So these are the simple points which you have to keep in mind while purchasing these. Preferably buy unroasted coffee beans and roast it yourself before grinding for use. Because if you are buying roasted ones, they might got moisture and they will not give you that crispness which is required in coffee, mm, freshness which is required in coffee. So uh, always try to buy the unroasted beans. And then for tea also, if you need stronger tea, then try to pick up the whole leaf variety. And there are many types of teas available in the market, like as per your preferences, masala tea and lemon tea and different type of teas as per your preferences, so you can pick them as per your choice. And again, I'm telling you that try to purchase which are packed in airtight containers, because then they assure you that they are free from any kind of a moisture and there is no microbial growth, and avoid buying loose from the market. So these are the things which you have to keep in mind. So is there any question you guys are not clear about? If you need any if you want to ask any question, you just can ask, because my presentation is over for today. We have covered 3 units over here. Mm, yeah, sir, are you there? Is there any question? You guys can type in chat box also, because the presentation is over. I can read it down if you have any doubt. Anyone? You guys can hear me or not?
Yes, we can hear you.
Do you have any doubts or?
No, ma, not any doubt. We understood.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Then I guess sir
thank you.
is not here.
Everything is clear.
Thank you. Thank you. So in next lecture, we will be covering the other 3 units of Block 4 today. That's all. I guess sir is not there, so just call him. Just wait for 5.
Hello. Hello, madam.
Yes, sir. Now we can hear you. Now we can hear you.
Dear students, now the presentation is over. You can ask any question to the madam.
Is anybody having any doubts till now? What all we have covered, like block 1, block 2, block 3, sorry, block 4. If anybody is having any questions related to course, they can ask me freely. I guess sir, nobody is having any doubts.
Madam, that is the case. Can I request you for summarization of the today's presentation for 10 minutes? Just
Yeah, sure.
that is better, I believe, because it's only 5.
Yeah.
Please carry on.
Yeah, so now talking about the summary of today's presentation, shall I present you the slides also so that you can recall them easily?
Yes, madam, that will be better.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen.
I think better.
Yeah. So students, we started with the food money. So how we can spend our money?
Let him invite Abdul Arshid Muhammad. Please ask your question.
Yeah.
Abdul Rashid ji. He is Abdul Rashid. Please ask your question. Unmute your mic and ask.
No network needed.
Okay.
Asking now. You can ask us.
You can write down it in the chat box also, na?
Okay, he will be writing, madam. After the presentation, you can go through that. And you might have covered 3 blocks, madam, or 4 blocks.
Yes. 3 units.
3 units.
Yes.
5 minutes for 15 minutes. You may summarize, please.
Okay.
After
So
that,
students,
they will ask you.
today we talked about the food money, how you expend your food, like whatever your money you are spending in purchasing the food, that is called as a food budget, and that is also called as a food expenditure. And your incoming is any kind of a source that any man who is earning in your family, that is the incoming in the form of gifts also, that is also a source of income. So if you are getting something from anyone, uh, this will be called as a incoming money, and whatever you are spending on your purchasing the food, or maybe the house, or paying the rent, or paying electricity bill, that is all known as a expenditure. And there are three groups of income groups: low income group, middle income group, and high income group. They all have a different choices for their food, because low income group can't afford high protein food, so they are more dependent on the carbohydrate source, that is wheat, rice, and jaggery. And there are certain policies also for government. They provide the wheat, rice, and the sugar and jaggery at a subsidized rate. That must be there in your country too. Then middle income group, as we talked, they consume better quality food. Then high income group, they have lot of money, so they are not only purchasing the best quality of food available in the market, but they have everything good in their houses, whether it is in the form of car, houses, ornaments. So they have uh, lot of money to purchase all these luxurious life material for them. So we have three income groups. And then we talked about the expenditure, that how we expend our money on food. So it depends on, first of all, income again, taste and preferences. The preferences, like if some people are vegetarians, some are non-vegetarians, and the extent of substitution available for food. Like if you like nuts and almonds are very costly, so you can substitute them buying with groundnut, which are cheaper in nature, but the amount of protein they provide, it is almost same as per the almond. So you should know about the substitutes and the price of food items you consume. So these are the 4 points that you keep in mind. Then we talked about food budget. Budget is nothing but the amount of money you are spending on buying the food for your family. Then how you can prepare a good budget? First of all, you should know the market, the availability of the ingredient, and the price. Then knowledge about the availability of different food, that which items are available in summer season, which food ingredients are available in winter season. So this knowledge should be there. Then, as I told you, some are available in cheaper rates, some are available in cheaper during winter. So all these knowledge should be there before purchasing the food ingredients. Then we talked about the selection of different food material, like we talked about the selection of cereals, selection of pulses, selection of nuts and oil, then sugar and jaggery, vegetables and fruits, and then meats and meat-free products, eggs. We talked about all the major food groups and what points you have to keep in mind while purchasing these. Like when we talk about cereal, we have to look that grain should be clean, they should be free from dirt, there should not be any infestation of any kind of a pest or insect. So they should be of good quality. Like as in picture shows, there is an infestation on wheat uh, grains, so they should be free from any kind of infestation. Then we talked about rice, that what parboiled rice is, how they are more advantageous in nature, and what type of rice we can select from the market. Like you can select them as per your need. Thin variety can go good for pulao, short rice for good for khichdi and idlis. And then finer variety, which is also consumed in India, is called as suji, can be chosen for upma and halwas. Then processed rice is also available, like puffed rice and poha. They should be crisp in nature, and there should not be any kind of a moisture on them. They should be, crispy, and appearance should be good. There should not be any dirt available on that. Foreign particles should not be there. So this is all about the selection of rice. Then we talked about the millets. Which millets are available in India? Bajra, jawar, maize, ragi. These four millets are there. And we talked about the selection of fats and oil. Then, as I discussed, fats are of two types, visible and invisible. Visible fat is available in ghee, vegetable oil, vanaspati. Invisible are in the form of integral component of food. Like if almonds you are eating, they have almond oil. Egg yolk are eating, they have a certain percentages of fat in them. And if you are eating cereals also, they also provide you 2 to 3% of fat. So there are invisible sources of fat also. And what points you have to keep in mind while selecting oils and fat, that they should be naturally in color, and then there should be fresh flavor. They should not be rancid in nature. Rancid fats provide you sour flavor. Their odor is bad and you cannot have them. They are not good for your health, and they can easily make you ill. So this is why we always suggest you to buy in sealed tins, because if the fats and oil are you're buying them in loose form, they comes in contact with the oxygen, and then the oxygenated oils become rancid very easily, and their odor, they start smelling really bad, and you cannot have them. Similarly, in case of butter also, there should be hygienic package, and they should be firm. They should not be melty. Like melted, if you're buying melted butter, there is no point of buying butter. It should be firm in some shape. So it has to be in some shape. It has to be freezed, and it should have a fresh flavor. Then always check for certification mark also. Like in India we have ISI mark, and if the mark is there, we are assured that the quality of fats and oil we are purchasing is of good quality. So there has to be some certification mark. Then we talked about the selection of jaggery and sugar. So we talked about various types of sugar and how we are using different type of sugar in our kitchens. And there is nothing much about you know talking about selection of good sugar from the market. You just have to keep in mind that it is free from moisture. If the moisture is there in sugar, they will form lumps, small lumps, and which is not good. There should not be any kind of a dirt, and you always have to check that there is no adulteration in your sugar. Then we talked about the uses of sugar, that there are various recipes which we prepare in India in which sugars are being used, like in tea, coffee, sherbets, and jam, jellies, and they are also used as a preservative, because if you are adding high concentration of sugar in your things, then you are on the other hand, you are saving it, you are extending the shelf life of that particular product. Like fruits, for example, I'm giving you example here. If you are using fruits are perishable in nature, and they have a very short span of life. So what we can do to make them live longer, we can convert them in jams, we can make jellies. So if you are making jams, then fruit has to be cooked at a high temperature with high concentration of sugar. If you are adding too much of sugar in jams, then it will help you to prevent it from the microbial growth, and you can have fruits around the year. Like if you are preparing guava jam, or if you are preparing apple jam, then apples are not available in 12 months of year. So you can save them in the form of jam with the help of sugar. So sugar are also used as a preservatives. Then we talked about artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners are substitutes for sugar, but because they are not glucose, they are not giving you glucose, they are the aspartame, which is another form of sugar. And that is why in India the diabetic people are using sugar free tablets in their tea and in their sweet dishes, because they are not providing you direct glucose, they are giving you aspartame, which is also a sugar and sweet in nature. Then some diet conscious people also using this aspartame as they are substituting their sugar, because they have a fear of gaining weight, and that also prevent tooth decay and cavities. Now moving forward to pulses, we talked about the different pulses and what are the nutritive value of pulses. Pulses provides you good amount of protein and some minerals also, and there are ways by which you can improve their nutritional level, that is sprouting. If you eat sprouts, they provide you more nutrients. Then what are the points you have to keep in mind while purchasing pulses. They should be purchase them in packed form. Otherwise, the adulteration chances are more. They add, stones and twigs, all that in the pulses to make them, mm, so that they can weigh less pulses. So it is always advisable to purchase them in packed form. Then we talked about the selection of milk and milk product. What is milk, and why infant are always advisable to breastfeed, be on breastfeeding for exclusively for 6 months. Then apart from mother's milk, we have a different animal milk like cow milk, buffalo milk, goat milk, camel milk, and how the milk is providing you all nutrients. It is a complete food that provides you protein, fat, carbohydrate, and minerals. And there are many type of milk which are government, supplying you in the form of polypack, and loose milk are also, being distributed with the help of various booths. In polypack, we have full cream milk, we have toned milk, skimmed milk, double toned milk. Depending on the percentages of fat, they are being, differentiated in these different type of milk packets. So, if a person want to have a full cream milk, they want to have a high percentage of fat, they can purchase full cream milk. And those don't want to gain weight and they want to avoid the fat percentages, they can go for toned milk. Then there are various products which you can prepare out of milk like curd, paneer, cream, khoa, and butter and ghee. Paneer is nothing but cottage cheese in your language. So these are the 3-4 products which you can prepare out of milk. And what are the points which you have to keep while purchasing milk? That you are always advisable to purchase them from authentic sources. Try to avoid purchasing from local vendors. Otherwise, there must be water adulteration in that. Curd are always advisable to set at home because it is more cheaper and hygienic. Buy cottage cheese which is free from fungus. There should not be any green mold growth on the cottage cheese, and it should not um, give you a bad odor. Then khoa should be firm and free from any kind of unpleasant odor, and cream which you are buying should be fresh and free from any sour taste. If your cream is sour in taste, then that means your cream is not fresh and it is stale in nature. This is a slide showing you different milk products again. Then we talked about the selection of flesh foods. We talked about the flesh foods, what all flesh foods are available. Then how you can select these. They should always be purchased from reputed shops. They should not be made from a disease causing organism. If an animal is diseased, then it can automatically harm your body too. Then by observing, by observing the appearance of the meat, also you can tell it that it is a stale milk or it is fresh meat. Then there are certain factors which you can keep in mind while purchasing flesh, like the color should be pinkish red, it should be fat firm, and it should be flaky and brittle. It should not be dark in color and should not have a heavy fat layer. Then we talked about egg, which is very nutritious in nature, and egg yolk is highly protein, contains high percentage of protein. Then how can you test at household level that your egg is fresh? You just simply can fill a water in a container, and you just drop your egg into that, and if the egg is sink in the water, then it means the egg is fresh. And if it is floating on the water, on the surface of water, that means your egg is stale in nature. So this is a simple test which you can perform at your household level. Then again, you can see while breaking your egg on plate, if the yolk is round and firm, that means the egg is fresh. Now, after that, we talked about poultry, that how you have to choose the good quality of meat, good quality of bird. That the skin of the bird should be soft and should tear easily, and you should always select female bird because they are more uh, tastier as compared to the male birds. After talking about the chicken, we talked about fish. That what are the points you have to consider in mind while purchasing fresh fish? The body should be stiff, light skin should be there and bright eyes. And again, in similarly as in the case of egg, the fresh fish will sink in water while the stale fish will float. After that, we are here to talk about nuts and oil seeds. We talked about different seeds and how we use them to extract the oil. And in India, we use majorly groundnut, sesame, and coconut oil as a uh, main oil for cooking. And what nutrients they provide us, and how we have to select the nuts and oil seed. As you can see in the picture, they are the poor quality of groundnuts which we have shown. There is a growth of mold, there is an insect, and the seeds are open. So color of the groundnuts are not good. So these all things you have to keep in mind before purchasing the nuts and oil, that the seeds are not spoiled, there is no infestation, and they are not shriveled. After that, we talked about the fruits and vegetables, how vegetables add variety in your diet, and what classification is there, and what selection you can, what points you have to keep in mind before buying beans, cauliflower, cucumber. We are not talking here for all the vegetables, but yes, for some vegetable you can, like if you are buying leafy vegetable, you just have to see the dark color leaves. They should be fresh, crisp, and there should be no worm eaten vegetables. If you're buying cauliflower, you have to pick white tight cauliflower, not loose ones, and not those are yellow in color. So these are some points which you have to keep in mind. Then we talked about the fruits, classification of fruits. Acha. Classification of fruits, and then selection of fruits from market, that what points you have to keep in mind while purchasing the fruits, like apples, bananas. If you are buying grapes, what characteristic you have to see. If you are purchasing apples, you have to see that they are firm, crisp, and deep colored. And if you're buying bananas, you have to avoid bananas which have brushes on their surface. And if you're buying grapes, they should be plumpy, properly colored, and firmly attached to the stem. So these are the things you have to keep in mind before buying the fruits. We talked about spices and condiments, and what spices we are eating, and apart from adding attractive color to your plate, what they are giving you certain nutrients also. Then what points you have to keep in mind while selecting the spices, like you have to select spices which are avoid, you have to see them, there should not be adulteration in them. So it is always advisable that you buy whole spices, and there has to be certain certification mark on the packet, like egg mark, um, is the certification mark which in India, which we used to see while purchasing any kind of a spice and condiments. Then we talked about the beverages. What are beverages and what type of beverages are available? Like stimulating beverages, under which tea and coffee comes, refreshing beverages under which fruit juices come, nourishing beverages under which milkshakes and all that come. And there is a fourth category under which carbonated drinks come. So we talked about the selection of tea and coffee, that if you want a strong cup of tea, you should go for a whole leafy variety, and there is a masala tea also available in the market. Then if you're going for a coffee beans, then try to buy which are unroasted ones, and roast them at your place and grind them for the use. Because if you're buying roasted beans, they may catch moisture later on, and that will have a bad impact on your cup of coffee. So these are the things which you have to keep in mind. So that's all we learned today. I hope I cleared all the things and it was a good presentation. I don't know how much you got up, but I made it in a very easy point. So that's all.
Yeah,
Sir,
anyone have any question regarding this lecture? Yeah, please continue.
Yes, ma. Okay. Ma, what is Sikkim milk?
Okay, there are different type
I'm
of
not
milk
understand
available in
it.
the market depending on the percentage of fat. Like whole milk, which is also called as a full cream milk. This is the milk where the fat percentages is 6%. And when you remove the fat layer of the milk.
Okay.
Then the milk which is there is skimmed milk, because you have removed all the fat from the milk. The milk is fat free. So fat free milk is called as a skimmed milk. The diet conscious people always prefer skimmed milk because they want to avoid having fat in their diet. Is that clear?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, another question?
Any other student may like to ask? Okay.
Okay, how many fruits are there in Nigeria?
Nobody was even telling me the kind of spices they are using in their cooking.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
I was
madam.
asking them which spice are you used apart from salt. Nobody was answering that too.
Yeah.
Sir,
Okay,
I'm
madam.
not hear your question clearly.
Nice, nice. Whoa. So we will close today's session here. Wish you all the best.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you, sir. God bless India.
much. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.